What is up, guys? It is your boy GRC. This is crypto every day, blah, blah, blah. Not crypto in the morning. I'm here with Sam Stolt. We're going to be talking about Ethereum W. You know why? Because this could be the most groundbreaking thing that I've ever experienced within crypto. And my face is melting off from all the gains. And I'm not saying that to be boastful at all. I don't really ever, it's not even about that. It's just about, man, I feel rewarded for my work. Oh, you know what I mean? Sometimes it feels like that. Let's talk to Sam. Okay, I'll tell you what Sam's going to bring up. Numbers. Okay? That's a little sneak peek on the episode. Let's talk about some of these Hedron, Hex, Ethw ratios. Let's talk about some of these trading volume, the liquidity that's lying in these pools. What will large players do when they get off their yachts? I don't know, Sam. I don't know. I do not know, but I have a hunch, Sam. I have a hunch, Sam. I can't wait for Richard to weigh in on this. Groundbreaking stuff, guys. Free marketing for Hex. I think Hex might just go global because of this. It's insane. And I'm not saying that because of my bags at all. I'm saying this because no one understands, and the supply is sitting there and you can buy all of it. That's crazy, guys. Let's bring Sam on. Not really a special guest. More like the guy that we stream every day together. But the transition's so cool. Sam, talk to the people, please.
What's good? I'm shoving my face with some steak over here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your afternoon. We have an interesting time to be in crypto, bro. But really interesting time. You've got POS, POW. I said this 2 weeks ago. We're getting a copy, just like we're going to do with Pulse Chain. We're there. It's actually beating Pulse Chain to the punch. You get a free copy of all your tokens, of all your stakes on Ethereum 2.0, but you get them on POW. That's proof of work for anybody. So we're going to talk about that. How does somebody check their balances? So we're going to go over how somebody can actually check their balances. Let's talk about parity, right? Are these going to get to parity? We're going to talk about that. Also, LP. How is it going with LP, right? Liquidity, because there was a bunch of people who were scared on Twitter. They were like, oh no, there's no LP over there. So we're going to dive into.
Well, it came out yesterday, so that would be difficult since the plebs don't even know how to do it yet. The normal guys don't even know how to do it yet. The whales haven't worked through all this stuff. Right now, the savages are getting at it. The guys right in the middle, the savages, man. And I'm not saying some of them have more money than others. You know, there's a big range there. But when things are this cheap, you have to use this, not this. It doesn't take much of this. It takes lots of this. And it takes patience. And it takes emotional fitness. Or you will fail in this because it is emotionally a roller coaster if you're not prepared.
And you can go. Sorry, I'm shoveling food into my mouth.
I'll just go until you're finished, dude. You can just eat for a second. I'll talk. I want to chill and stuff. So it's like, this is our show, Sam. We can just I always forget that. I'm always waiting for the principal to come down and be like, no. I'm like, so guys, hit the hit this. We got 50 in here already. Emergency live stream for the guys that actually want to learn and continue to learn. And me and Sam are going to continue to give our time today because we think this is so awesome. And it has nothing to do with, oh, GRC's trying to pump his bags. Bah, 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 bah. Nope. I was paying attention. I was locked and loaded. I was ready to go 24/7 for 300 days straight. So that's what's going on here, guys. I want you to know. I dropped a tweet, guys. Let's retweet this out. Let everyone know me and Sam are live. Let's get some questions. Let's do whatever we want. We want to talk. This is not crypto in the morning. This is me and Sam's the Gym Rat Crypto Show or whatever the hell. It's just a separate situation right now. But Sam wants to talk online. I want to talk online because I think there's a lot of guys online, Sam, searching internet web bars right now. And I think they're looking for information. GRC's got a hunch on that one. I want to provide that information, and I want to make sure it's not biased like most of the other information I say. You'll never see me say something negative about a product that when I'm proven wrong over and over again, just because I said it and I have a big ego. Nope, not about that. Oh, we're all going to moon land, face melting gains land. And it doesn't matter if you're wrong about a little something. Don't over leverage. Be smart. Security, the most important things. Me and Sam are going to work through all of this stuff while we're talking right now. So retweet it out. Let everyone know. Come on. You know, I'll do this one. This one's a little...
There we go. That's also a very nice transition there. So if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat here so that we can hopefully answer these. What's up, Chad? How you doing? AJ, Fiji, and Derek. What's good, guys? Hope everybody's having an amazing day, creating an awesome afternoon. So,
and I'm going to invite a few people on here. If one of them wants to join, that's on them. But I'm going to send some big brains a couple shots and see if any of them bite. I know they're all locked and loaded right now. If you're on vacation right now, oof, you kind of got wrecked. But not really, because this is the low liquidity, no liquidity in this stuff yet. So for the bigger players that are still on vacay, I don't think really stressing is what they should do. I think they should focus, one, and I think they should get busy learning, of course.
So let's start with the liquidity piece, right? Because a lot of people don't think that like you'll be able to get their money out or this, that, and the other thing. So this morning, I started tracking liquidity. So how do you do that? There's nothing to track or aggregate liquidity. Aggregate's just a fancy word for saying like summation, right? So there's no way to summate or bring together all of the pools that are liquidity, because when you look at liquidity, people are like, oh, $12,000 of liquidity, $4,000 of liquidity. And you're like, oh my God, that's nothing. But because all of these are traded in ratios, and say if you have a basket of different pairs, say Hex with XYZ tokens, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What ends up happening is if those ratios change in one of those 20 pairs, then there's an opportunity for somebody to make money. So what auto routing does on different swaps is they will route through the most appropriate pair so that the price is the lowest. So you can get the most quantity of tokens in your bag. So even though one pool might only have, say, $12,000 of liquidity, that does not mean that there's only $12,000 of liquidity. It's across the aggregation of all of the pools. So this morning at 9:30, we had about $143,000 of liquidity. Still nothing crazy, right? Not anything insane. As of about an hour ago, 5 hours later, we had over almost double that. I pulled up the numbers here so we can actually take a look at this. But it went from 143,000, I think, to 280 something thousand in 5 hours. So people are adding liquidity like crazy.
It can't even keep up with the numbers on the aggregators. Like it really can't. It's coming in from different angles at different times, different speeds. Different pools have to, you know what I mean? And some pools won't get into it yet until it's more stable, I'm sure.
Yes, 100%. Arbor Rocks, whatever, however you say your name, you're more than welcome. You can also use that in reverse if you're trying to take money out of this, if you're trying to take money out. So let's talk about the options that are available, right? Because you can, like Jesse was saying, you can do nothing. You can go over to play with your tokens and transfer them to a different wallet if you wanted to do that, or just use a different wallet on a different network, or you could add in new capital, and you could get to see that obviously doing nothing, while might appear to be the least risky thing, could also be a risky thing in the sense that there is a opportunity cost. People don't provide liquidity because they hear the term impermanent loss. When you understand what impermanent loss is just an opportunity cost. So if you're scared of impermanent loss, right, to not do something where you can earn these fees, if you do nothing, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because your shit's still going to be there if you decide to do something in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months down the road. Your coins will still be sitting over there, but your stable coins will probably be worth about $0 because, as we talked about, they're not redeemable, right? You can't go take USDC and bring it back into USDC and redeem that for anything. They've already made that, so that you can't do that. So what would I do, and what have I done? And then I think GRC will get into also what you know, if you don't have to share all the details if you don't want to, but share like the process. I had, prior to the merge, I took the ETH that I had and I actually converted it to Hex because I thought that Hex might perform better. And then I'm going to get a copy of that on the other chain. So I got a copy of that. Then I brought in a couple $100, right? So I'm not saying anybody else should do this. A couple $100 of fresh capital into this other ecosystem to purchase at a massive discount relative to POS. So I took a couple $100 from POS. I transfer that to an exchange that allows me to buy Ethw. I took that Ethw to a swap, right? So you have a centralized exchange that supports Ethw. I go there and I use Tether. So I swap Tether for Ethw. I took my Ethw to a swap, right? Something like Uniswap, but I used Kyber swap. And then I swapped that for whatever I wanted. And you want to talk about some of the numbers you picked up? I did for 50 million Hedron yesterday evening for 50 million Hedron, which is like practically zero, right? It's a very, very, very small amount. I was able to grab 47,000 Hex. So massive amount. And there was numbers like GRC got a crazy amount of Hedron. You're muted.
I did $136 buy or like 150 depending. I usually, or 100, I can't exactly remember. But it was like 15 Ethw and I swapped it for like 500,000 Hex, I think. So, and it was only like $100, you know. And then I bought more, you know. I kept buying, I kept adding, I kept all day long. That's all I did. But, you know, slowly. I didn't want to get KYC'd on the exchange. So I wanted to slowly move in and out of that so I didn't get flagged or anything.
So why would we do this? Why would we do this? Because we think, and I'm not saying that you guys should do this. I'm just sharing my opinion. If you think of Hex is just a tool, right? And this tool is going to work wherever it is implanted. I think we had a conversation several months ago with RG3, and he's like super gung-ho about like believing that there's going to be a limited supply of Hex. I don't, you know, partake in that belief. But what I had to say at the time was, if somebody believes that Hex is like a holy grail of some sort, then Hex on any blockchain is going to exist in the future. And we have that happening right now. So if Hex is a lower price, then what does that allow us to do? The same, say $1,000. You can go over to POS. You can spend $1,000, and Hex is what, 3.5 cents or something. So $1,000 is going to get you 28,500 Hex, right? You're like, okay, cool, fucking awesome, 28,000 Hex. Now, on the proof of work side, what is $1,000 going to get? I don't even know what $1,000 is going to get you, but it's got a couple more zeros in front of it.
For Hex?
6 million, I think, or something.
For what?
1,000 USD into Hex on proof of work.
4,000 Hex.
No, way more than that.
Oh no, 40,000.
Or the other way,
40,000 Hex.
I think. Well, the number
40,000 Hex. Yeah, no, 1,000. Well, $1,000 at 1 penny would give you 100,000. So 4 pennies, it'll give you 40,000.
And at like a fraction of that, because Hex trading on proof of work is like 20x below where it would be sitting at parity. So you can take the same $1,000, buy a much 20x the amount of Hex. So if it's $28,000 that you can purchase for $1,000 on the one side, times 20. That's 500,000. 500,000 versus 28,000 for the same exact price. But what does this get you? You're like, well, the price is lower. Cool, awesome. Stake your shit into the future, if that's what you want to do, or just sit on it, or put it into LP, or you know what I mean. Do some. You can do 1,000 different things with it, but
it just work. It takes work, and it's harder than people want to make it seem like. That's why it's like only certain people figure it out and execute and can talk about it, because it's kind of hard. Frankly, like if you're not locked in on this, if Sam was missing the beat on anything, he would have been wrecked, because how can you know? Like, how are you supposed to figure this stuff out? That's one of the biggest problems I have with crypto is like, it's just VC money, but it just goes to random guys like me rather than VCs. You know what I mean? So I view Ethw as a marketing tool. Ethw has a lot of attention right now, and with all the Hex ecosystem coins pumping like mad, it brings attention to Hex, Hedron, Icosa, and Maxi. Maybe just swapping worthless coins for worthless coins at this point, it has an effect, though. Yes, exactly. It has an effect because there's USD volume going in at absolutely neurotic rates into HexW and into Ethw. And that's why that's occurring. And he's just trying to be friendly by saying it. I sent you an invite, Alex. So if you want to come on, that would be lit. Thanks for all your hard work and getting all those front ends. You can stake Hex from his front end 100%, just like you would on anything. He has a front end for Hex staking on his Icosa.pro app. And so Alex is really punching out of his friggin' mind right now. Pretty cool stuff.
There's also so yes, you can stake through Icosa. There's also Uniswap front end from Alex, so you can use Uniswap front end. I think it's just uniswap.icosa.pro, I believe, and you can create an LP pool with your free tokens. Like if you like have heard about LP and you don't want to do it on the 2.0 side, well, you can go to the other side, the POW side, and you could provide liquidity so that you get an understanding with free money of how it actually works, right? This is all available right now. It's not gonna actually last very long. But I wanted to share this. This is Dex Screener. Dex Screener is going to aggregate.
Zoom in on that if you can.
Yes, I can. A little bit better. Let's go. There we go.
That's perfect.
Okay, so Dex Screener is the aggregator of all the pairs based upon the network. So you could pick 2.0 Ethereum. You could pick some other, network, Optimism, ABAX, or whatever the case is. And it will tell you the top pairs based upon volume. So we're going to take a look at this real quick because you're like, wow, a lot of people have been talking about this stuff. Well, check out the actual behavior, right? We've been talking about it. I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks. Check out the actual behavior of humans in this ecosystem. So this is all of the tokens on POW. Every single one, there's thousands and thousands of these tokens with like different brands, right? Number one, and this is in terms of trading volume, right? $500,000 right here. Hex, wrapped ETH, and this is on the POW network, right? Number one. Number two, Hex USDC, 70,000. Number three, Hedron USDC. This is on the entire Ethereum proof of work network. The top three pairs are from this community. ETH USDC, ETH USDC, a different version of it. And then we have number 6. So this is we're just going to go through the top 10 here. Number 6 here is Hex, ETH, a different pool based on the size. Trading volume, 81,000. Number 7, Hedron and wrapped ETH, 16,000. And then we have that rounds out of the top 10. 5 of the top 10. Think about this. 5 of the top 10 trading pairs. Out of all of the pairs, every single pair on POW is related to this ecosystem. Hex, Hedron. If you go through the top 100, the the pairs with Hedron, the pairs with Acosa, the pairs with Hex are absolutely dominating the top 100 pairs.
Well, they're dominating every asset in crypto as far as price appreciation.
Yes.
Everything in legacy and crypto, everything. This is where it is right now, guys. This is where money's headed. And whether that's going to be the future of everything or a piece of everything, I don't know. I don't care. I understand this technology pretty well now. And I understand that it moves forward without your feelings involved. And a lot of these hexagons think their feelings are going to somehow stop this train from moving, even though we created it. And then we pushed the narrative. And then we said we would do it, even if they did it before or after, it doesn't matter. He told us all this stuff was going to happen. And I'm going to assume that if he comes out and says anything about it, he's just going to be like, hey, like we've been talking about it the whole time.
Yes. What issues, what questions are you guys running into or have about this? Because
specific questions, please, guys. We can't answer every 3-word question about how did I get my Ethw from here. Like you have to be specific if you want us to answer the question. You should have bought Ethereum Classic for 70 cents a coin 6 years ago when Ethereum first forked. Or you can buy it today for $34 a coin. The fork Hex in PoW is no different. Yes, correct.
What a great point there. You bought it how many years ago? 6 years ago versus
$34 versus 70 cents per coin.
And remember, this is a fork of something that was a scam, right? And it's still a 50x.
Well, I don't even know it's a scam. It's just
well, that's how it came about. Not that it's not a scam.
It had no reason to continue, but it still pumps in price because it exists on the blockchain. Phraseology, maybe it's something Trezor or Ledger needs to sort out as long as it's correct, though. What is it?
What is the question? I've been using Trezor without any issues at all. I think GRC is also using Trezor. So let me pull this up real quick. This is Etherscan for PoW. Because if you don't know or you're not comfortable with the process yet, and you just be like, hey, I just want to check to see how much my shit is actually worth, what you can do is pull this up. And I'll share this in the comments so that if you guys care to check it out. This is again Etherscan for PoW. You come through here, you put in your address, whatever address it is that you're looking for, or whatever. It might be like a private address, or it might be something like a contract address for Hex. So this is a dummy wallet that I have. Let's search this wallet and see what's in this wallet, right? So you can come over here. Hex says 100% of this wallet is Hex. I think there's 10 Hex in this wallet. So if you want to check what's in your wallet, you can go to that link, oklink.com, and you could put in your wallet address and see your tokens on the other side. You also get free copies of all of your stakes. I think Brisbane might have answered this here. AJ, it's the same wallet though. Damn it. I'll create another. Can I just add an account? Yes. Okay. So AJ, this is a good point here. So if somebody does not want to use the same wallet, right? So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go over to your wallet on PoW and say you have 3 tokens. You have some USDC, you have some Ethw, and Hex, right? So now you can take all those and just send them to a new wallet. That's all. You take all 3 of your assets in there, just like you would if you were sending me money. You would go through, click on the asset, click send, put in the address of the new wallet, and send it there, right? Then do ETH and do the same thing, and then do Hex, right? Or you probably do ETH last, right? And you send it, so that wallet's clear. Now it's in a new wallet, and obviously you have to create a new wallet, or you can just add a wallet there. Brizology. Here's something interesting, Jimmer. On the ETH network, when sending coins from wallet A to B, your hardware wallet will confirm the address you send it to. I believe that's correct. But on the Ethw network, the hardware wallet will show you the contract address of the coin you are sending. Weird. Interesting. That's a cool point. I haven't been paying super close attention to that. That's a great point.
Interesting stuff. Let's quick clip. I just saw this pop up on Twitter. I'd like to cover it because it's probably relevant if somebody posted it. and this is Richard about a year ago. I remember watching this live, actually. I wasn't streaming at the time. So this was a great interview. Richard was in his bag at this point, and let's see what Richard has to say about whatever they're talking about.
What made you want to, I guess, continue with the building and the growth of something like Post-Chain after having success with Hex and still working on that? What made you want to jump to the next one so quickly?
Well, it wasn't quick, and I didn't want to do it. Ethereum, Vitalik doubled our costs, and he didn't double everyone else's costs. He doubled Hexicon's cost. He passed an EIP in the last fork, the Berlin fork, that doubled Hexicon's costs and fucked us. And our fees were already extremely high from all the other fuckings. And so after a certain number of fuckings, you just can't take it anymore. It's not okay that a Uniswap transaction costs $150 to on-ramp a new user to Hex. That's unacceptable.
That's
and
crazy,
sometimes $300.
Right? It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's not okay to cost $1,500 down a stake. It's not okay. Had to get fixed. And what's the only way to fix it? Well, Hex is unstoppable, immutable, unchangeable. You can't fuck with it. It can never be stopped. But now you can put another chain that has lower fees, and everybody gets copied or stakes. They get copied or liquid Hex.
So what do you say? You get a copy of everything. He's talking about Pulse Chain. We got the same exact thing happening right now. You can get a copy right now on POW, and then next year at some point, hopefully you'll get a copy of Pulse, assuming that it actually launches. So you get a copy of your shit, and then you get another copy of your shit again.
And it's the practice in between. So this market was a lot less knowledgeable, to be honest. Yes, there's guys in this market that know what they're doing, but in Hex, a lot of the guys know what they're doing. So it's just another step down the learning hole. Look at what he says right here, Sam. Just remember.
Pull this back up. And then we'll get into the questions.
Pulse chain aside, what does he say about Hex?
And now, if
go back 5 seconds,
this chain has the same value as the other one. Now you can put it up. That's unacceptable.
That's
and
crazy,
sometimes
right?
$300.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's not okay to cost $1,500 down a stake. It's not okay. Had to get fixed. And what's the only way to fix it? Well, Hex is unstoppable, immutable, unchangeable.
Hex is immutable, unstoppable, unchangeable. Read between the lines, guys. He's showing, yes, he's framing Pulse Chain because that's what he thought was going to go down first. But listen to what the man actually says about his product before you go telling people what to do. Because this man is the guy you are obsessed with and listen to. But no, you don't actually listen. You just want to be rich. That is the issue with crypto.
You can't fuck with it. It can never be stopped. But now you can put another chain that has lower fees, and everybody gets copied or stakes.
POW has a lot lower fees.
And now
proof of work is substantially less in fees. And you can make the argument it is actually more secure than POS from multiple different angles. The fees, I paid like 1 gwei, a single gwei. These are dirt cheap fees over there relative to proof of stake. Massive difference there. Sorry, go ahead and play this. Go ahead and play this.
Now, if this chain has the same value as the other one, well, lucky you. You just doubled your stack, and transacting here is a lot more affordable. And then, I don't know how the market's going to act. People could sell their Ethereum Pulse, ePulse for
that. I mean, some of that would definitely happen. Realistically, some will happen. Not all, but some will.
I think we're going to have both very valuable. I don't think you're going to get cheap Hex anywhere, but I wouldn't be surprised to see eHex, or rather pHex on the Pulse network, be more valuable than eHex on the Ethereum network. I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
So,
and why is he saying that, Sam? He's saying that because the system's more efficient. The cheaper gas fees, it's more excitable for guys like me. Makes way more sense. It's just the value prop leans to one side. And this can happen on other chains too if the parameters are correct. And in this case, it seems like things are going at least smoothly. What were you going to say, Sam?
I don't remember exactly, but that was an interesting clip there when you understand and you've taken the time to think about Pulse. then understanding proof of work should be pretty easy. It's basically the same thing with less marketing. That's all. And I think that Hex can hit parity. Let's touch on one of these questions. So somebody had mentioned here, Kilgrave. I wonder if / when the OA address will interact with the Ethw network. Will he bring us to parity? So think about this for a second. Put yourself in somebody else's shoes, right? If you are the founder of Hex and you've got 90% of the supply, and if the market cap is $10 billion, then you've got $9 billion just in that, not including any other assets or anything else. And another copy gets launched. Do you think it's in your best interest to make it so that that copy goes up in price so that you're at parity, meaning another $10 billion, and you have 90% of that? So you go from 9 billion to 18 billion. That just makes sense. Like, that's something I would do because it's going to be in my best interest to double my bags, right? So I do think that it has. I don't know when. I don't know what the time frame will be, but I do think that there's a massive opportunity for Hex W to get up to the same price as the ETH W 2.0, because if it doesn't happen, what takes place? You have what affects the interest rates, right? In here, how long you're doing it and how big, and the T-share rate and all that kind of stuff. Well, what goes up over time, right? The T-share rate. Well, if you can buy more hacks for the same USD value, then that means you can get more interest, right? So hopefully you're following me. I can take $1,000 and I can buy, one T-share over here that's a couple years out, or I can take that same $1,000, the same time frame, and get 20 T-shares over here. And it's just going to continue running. I'm just going to earn more interest on this side. Who do you think is going to take advantage of these things? If I can earn more money on one side, ETHW, the price of ETHW, and that network as a whole looks like it will stabilize at some point. There are people who are interested in using it, clearly, right? Even if it is 90% of the Hex community at this point, there are other communities that are on there that are using it. Or I'm not going to try to even say your name. I bought some more Hedron with my POW and add to Hedron Icosa's stake. Yes. So think about this. People are most aware of and trust Hex. But what is Hedron? Hedron's, that same exact thing, right? It's immutable.
Hedron's up 20% on the day.
On 2.0, right?
On ETH proof of work. Proof of work.
This is the
regular Hedron's up 20% on the daily.
Proof of stake. Because
there's no liquidity. Just like I was buying Hedron months ago. Why? And there's no liquidity. Why would I still like to buy it if there was no new ETHW? Because of that exact reason.
Yes. And Hedron is that we looked at this earlier when we were chatting on the phone. If you look at the discount from Parity, so you have Hex, say at 3.5 cents, and then you look at where Hex currently is. And as of, an hour and a half ago, it was about a 20x away from Parity, a 20x. That's not that far away. But Hedron, right? Same exact thing. Hedron on proof of stake versus Hedron on proof of work is closer to an 87x away. 87x away. So I was doing this because I put in a couple $100 more today. Given this, I've actually increased my Hedron bag because if you look at the value prop, one has a 20x to go to parity and the other has an 87x to go to parity. Right? And remember, and when you layer on top of this, 20x to parity, 87x to parity. And then Hedron is already undervalued. Hedron is going to be the fuel you use to go purchase ICOSA stakes on proof of work. It's not, nothing's changing. It's the same exact thing. It's just a different network. So you can take
Same
Hedron.
supply. Same amount.
And Hedron's already undervalued, in my opinion, in the current network we have been using, 2.0.
That was the best. That was the best opportunity for gains before this launched. ETH1.
Correct. Great point. So now, dude, think about this. The best opportunity on layer 1, on 2.0. It's the same exact opportunity on POW, but now it's 87x below that point. So the opportunity is even bigger.
Sam, how fast do you think they can reach parity? It can happen overnight, truthfully.
It's a great question.
Because people don't think, they look at all these stuff, but when the chart does that thing that it does, that's what this is. That's what this is. That's why when you see these pumps go crazy, it's all the same shit. It's just a different amount, different time variable, different USD variable. But this is just incredible. And it's not incredible. Again, like, it's not all just the gains. It's just like really, this is reality. You know, like, this is reality, guys. And you know what else is reality? I'm almost at 10,000 subs on Twitter. And, you know, like, we're just, look at the mustache. Come on. I was in Vegas rocking that kind of stash. Are you serious? Follow me up, guys. I'm going to be looking for more cool content on here. And I'm actually going to go back to some Richard Hart videos when we're done, because I'm just working for today. You know, I decided I'm going to go watch some football tomorrow. So, you know, I guess I'll just work for the whole day, because, and I know that's not always the best. I get a walk, get a workout in. Yes, I know I'm going to do all those things, but I need to focus right now. I'm not the most detail-oriented guy in the world, but I am very sharp at the things I'm studying. So I want to stay on it. I really do want to stay on it.
Yes.
Guys, follow Sam too. Like,
yes.
Look.
I'm at 6,500. I think.
MBA and a CFA. Guys, where I'm from, that's gold. I don't even know what those things are, but I know how important they are to all the people that love to get financial advice. And I don't necessarily feel super comfortable giving out direct financial advice, but my co-host is a bit more qualified, in my opinion, due to all of these letters and the tests that he had to take to prove that he was good enough for the.
And also, we just want to make it clear, we're not giving financial advice here
Well, whatever.
Correct.
My bad. I don't want to.
No, I know what you meant.
I'm not giving anyone financial advice. I'm just a kid on the internet trying to have a good time.
Let's run through some of these questions here. We have Hex Bean. How the fuck do you add new tokens to show in MetaMask? If you go through I'll share the link again, but if you go through OK Link for Ethw, you'll be able to search for whatever token it is. Or you can just use Etherscan. It has the same address, right? So say if you're trying to add Hex to your MetaMask on Ethw, all you have to do is get the Hex contract address, go into MetaMask, you scroll down to the bottom of your where it says assets or transactions or something like that, assets versus activity, go to assets, scroll to the bottom, import token, click on import token, and you can put in the contract address there to pull up Hedron or Hex, etc. on that side. There's another couple questions here. What exchange are you using? I have been using Kyber Swap, KYBR.
I think they mean. Oh, I guess that would just be.
You're right. It might be something else.
They probably want Ethw. That's what everyone wants. So centralized wise, I was using MEXC exchange, which I had never used before, and I never had to KYC. But I'm not going to go ahead and tell people to start funneling money through there, because I'm all disconnected from it and separated from it now, right? I had to move quickly. I don't want you to trust all these sites. I don't want you, because I don't know. But I wanted to take advantage of an opportunity for some pennies on the dollar. That's all I was doing there. So just remember, guys, be very careful. Pay attention. Get your computer. Go to a room, quiet, and focus when you're doing these things.
And it's it might be MEXC.com is also the one that I used. Not saying it's the best one or the only one. I believe you can swap on Binance, right? If you have a Binance account, FTX. So that means you can send something there, whatever that might be asset wise, and then you should be able to swap into Ethw. You've got to double check this because those are not the two exchanges that I used. Probably in the next week or 2 weeks or whatever, some period of time, Coinbase should have this up and you would be able to actually use it there. Vincent Vega, if you haven't covered staked hex tokens, could you? My wallet that has my staked hex shows 0 hex on Ethw network. I realize it is probably because they are staked. Will they show up after the stake? Yes. So you're going to have to end stake those. So if you look at icosa.pro, I think it is icosa.pro. I might be missing something there. They have the front end where you can go through. Now, GRC, do you know this, or somebody in the comments? I don't think you'll be able to see go.hex.com stakes until Richard Hart updates that, or
The
somebody
most
else.
trustworthy person for all that would be the icosa front end, as far as reputation and everything that's gone on. People go to him. He's there. He's coding. He's tweeting. He's transparent. We've been using all his products since launch. So, I mean, I don't want to say it's 100% anything, but that's what you're going to want to do if you're a smart betting man.
The supply is the same, Steven. So it's exactly like everything is exactly the same. The private addresses, like that you send me money, I send you money, etc. That's the same as the contract address for Hex. So it's the same as the contract address for anything else over there. It's our chain now. Yes, it is. It is the Hex Hedron community chain for sure. Money printer. I should be able to get more Hedron instead of Hex at this point. Not saying anybody should do what I'm doing, but that's what I did.
Those numbers,
I got more both.
Those numbers are moving. So by the end of this show, that could be a different story too. So again, guys, that's how much these numbers move when there's no liquidity. You have to understand, like, they can swap, flip flop. Somebody can want some funds. Somebody can want something. It happens, but then over trends, what we're talking about is trends, guys. We're talking about the trend of how all this works as far as generally moving forward.
I like this comment from Bullish. Hope you're enjoying the time with your family. Congrats to all the new 1 million Hex holders. So there's a lot of new people in Hex who now have over 1 million Hex, right? That they can go through and stake. By the way, to go back on that other one related to staking, I yesterday bought a bunch of Hex, and then I took the Hex W and I staked it through the icosa front end. And it's coming out today at 8 p.m. Just because I was like, oh, let me test this out. I've actually never ended a stake before. So that'll be interesting.
Make sure you end it on the day that you're supposed to. That's a big problem people have. And then also end your Hedron on that's getting minted from that. Or if you
wait, I still okay.
I know it.
Thank you. Okay, so I have a stake. There's over 50 T shares, bro. Over 50 T shares. Okay. Now that gives me free Hedron.
No money too.
Correct, bro. It was absolutely nothing. It was nothing, and you get 50 T shares. Okay. So with that, every Hex stake gets free Hedron. Every Hex stake gets free Hedron. After this, we're going to end the show in probably 50 minutes, or you're going to may continue doing with some of the Richard Hart stuff. But
I think I might continue just because I got a lot of airtime, a lot of people, and a lot of Richard Hart quotes that I need to dig up. So I might just do that all at the same time. right now. But I might also take a break and go run or do weighted pull-ups and stuff. So for an hour outside. But either way, at 6 o'clock, 6:30, I'm going to be going into all the Richard's old streams and going into the timestamps and finding where he talks about these concepts because he has very detailed timestamps.
Yep, and there's a lot of people who grab that specific 3-minute section that you can pull up and play there. White dude.
Oh, you guys.
White dude with glasses. Also, is there a site where you can see the Ethw price charts? Nomics, you can use. I've been using Nomics. It's about $8, $9, $10 in that range. That if somebody has a better source, I just invested my entire life savings on your word. Oh well, that is not an intelligent thing to do, my friend. Don't do that.
Well, it's probably if you do it on us for the last 3 months, you're probably a fucking billionaire by now. But no, don't listen to us. Seriously, it's not safe to just listen to random entities on the internet. This is about learning and education. It really, really is. And people are always going to think me and Sam's intentions are negative. Okay, and that's all right. That's the price you pay for being a man. Like, and it's not that hard. You just got to ignore a bunch of dorks.
I want to touch on this comment. Then we have another really good comment and some updates in a second. So, crypto flipping fish. Can we buy Ethw on MetaMask still? I use my wallet only. That is a fantastic question that I don't have the answer to. Please, if somebody's tried that.
Don't do that. Yeah, that's the worst way to do it anyway.
We bullish. I will launch hexpow.com and powhex.com tonight. Full breakdown. I'm forking hex.com. So if anybody's not aware, Bullish purchased the domain hexpow and powhex.com, and they should be launching tonight. Bullish, is that going to be where people can check their native stakes and stakes on PoW if they want to not use Hedron or not use Icosa front end type thing? I'm late. What did you miss? Some beautiful biceps. All details, Excel will be available there. Fantastic. Doesn't allow you to withdraw Ethw. You can only deposit. You can withdraw Ethw through that exchange that we mentioned, MEXC or Binance or FTX. Like any exchange that has Ethw that you have an account with, right? You can get Ethw and you can send that to the centralized exchange and cash out or flip it to something else. But you can also flip it to something else in Kyber Swap if you care to do such a thing. dApps gotta update their beep. Yes. Not all of them will. Not all of them will actually be able to do this. Sorry, I'm a bit late. How do you get your cash off of Ethw? You want to read that first?
If you want to do that, you could go to a centralized exchange and do it there. That would be MEXC. So I wouldn't do that yet personally, but you can certainly, or you can just trade it back into an asset that you like more and then you feel more comfortable with.
So if you have, say, if somebody has 10 ETH on 10 ETHW, so you could, like you're saying, you could take that ETHW and you could bring it to a centralized exchange and you could swap it out, right, and bring it over to ETH 2.0, or you could take that free money and you could convert that into an asset that you already like Hex or Hedron or something like that. But you could do that through a centralized exchange. Do you want to say hi to Alan real quick for that comment?
Alan, thanks for the $5 super chat. You can buy USDT on Coinbase and use changenow.io to get Ethw straight from your wallet. Thank you. That is very good information, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, dope. JZ, yes, you can see all your stakes regardless of what front end you used. Icosa app shows everything. Yes, it does. I've used it. It's awesome.
And it doesn't have all the pretty features that Hex.com has, but you don't need anything, guys. You don't have to stare at it all day. It's just their work. I mean, in the future, it'll all look different. But right now, they're getting shit to work. No, you're good.
It's substantially cheaper. It's so much cheaper on Ethw to do any transactions.
I hope it's still cheaper. Oh, you mean the transactions? Yeah.
Yeah. Mayor Will, where can I swap Ethw for Hedron? So there's two places that I'm aware of off the top of my head. There's probably several others. The place that I used and the place that GRC used is Kyber Swap, KYBER swap.com, kyberswap.com. It's a aggregator of different swaps, similar to, say, Matcha or something like that. And they have Ethw that you can swap for Hedron over there. Hedron deployer just minted 5555. Team, dope. Interesting. Let's see what else in terms of questions. Where can I swap ETH? Oh, I just got to that one. You just have been spamming the chat here, my friend.
I have a quick video I'd like to show that I just wrangled up. You know, there's only a few videos on the internet on this stuff, guys, and I'm pretty good at finding them at this point. But who are these two gentlemen, Sam?
RH Max, and that is our friend Alex, who put together the front end for Uniswap, who put together the Icosa front end so that you can stake your hex on the PoW network. And it looks like they did a video here.
Safe to say he knows what probably he's talking about. This was 3 weeks ago, by the way. 3 weeks ago.
Ooh,
I have never listened to this video, but I know Alex well enough now to say he probably is going to be right on the money, but still have questions. But he knows what's going on, literally, not just, oh, yeah, like I know some rich people, so I'm going to tell you what I think. No. He's wearing an N64 t-shirt. That's not how those guys play.
In short, right, it will come out, and I haven't decided what to do with this yet, right? So, like, they're going to fork, right? It's very easy to fork a chain. I could go fork Ethereum tomorrow. I just copy the code and change the chain ID. I forked it. We're good.
Yeah.
It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to do it and have it actually work, and actually... Like they will have the advantage that they're just going to copy something that already works and not have to change it. But there's a lot of things that are going to be missing, right? Almost every app interface on the planet is not going to support them. Every whatever it is, there's no bridges, right? USDC is not going to support it, so there won't be any stables that work. Like, I look at all of these
Classic 2.0, that kind of
thing. Basically, and like, there's some bad things to this, right? Because, like, what's going to decide whether these work or not is whether USDC will support it. I think that's kind of dumb. Like, right?
They have the trump card, sounds like.
Now, I don't know what the news was at this time, but USDC is not the pair. USDT still works as a pair, right, Sam? And you can swap USDC for USDT on centralized exchange.
Yes, just on PoW. Not sure how that's going to play out. I believe the kind of consensus of what a lot of people are thinking is that Tether and DAI and USDC are not really going to hold their pegs because you can't redeem them. So like that's how they hold their peg, as being redeemable. So I don't know if that's going to be the case. RH Max is in the house, actually.
Good to see you, RH Max. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Like imagine this. Imagine they did the proof of work fork, and then Circle came out tomorrow and said, by the way, we're not supporting ETH 2.0, and USDT is going to be on this proof of work fork. Would ETH 2.0 actually have happened?
Another bear market. We're going to go deeper.
You know, like if Circle has the power, they have the power to decide which fork of Ethereum lives and which one dies. So
So this is an important concept. All the details were a little different at this point, but this concept alone, Sam, is interesting to me because when it does come to support, but Ethereum has the most reputable name brand in the entire space. So that's where I think he's like a little bit more so. Like, this was 3 weeks ago, guys, and a lot of things have changed since then. And so he had to be a little bit loose with his thinking. He couldn't have been thinking upside at this time. Could anyone have been thinking, oh my God, upside? No, it's not really possible. You have to hedge downside when you're talking. And I think he understands a lot of these nuanced concepts, but I don't know if USDT is fixed that problem for him. So I need to ask him that. And anyone, well, I'll just ask him.
There might be a new stable coin that is going to launch.
Liquid loans.
Right? Something like that might launch, right?
Launch liquid loans on Ethw,
right?
guys.
Correct. That's something we could do. Bullish, you want to do that? Let's fucking do that. And then there's a stable coin over there that's backed by something. Is there anywhere to trade that is not Kyber Swap? I heard there's a V3 front end, but can't find it anywhere. Yes. The front end is uniswap.hedron.pro. Uniswap.hedron.pro is the front end. I think I might have accidentally said something differently before, where I said it was .icosa, but it's actually .hedron.pro. So hopefully that is helpful, my friend. The only difference is Kyber Swap is a aggregator. So not all the liquidity is on V3. There's liquidity on V2, which the auto router on V3 will be able to utilize. But there's also some on SushiSwap. I've seen my shit go through Curve, right? It's going all over the place to get the best price using Kyber Swap. Not saying you should. It's just if you can't get execution over there, maybe then check out Kyber Swap. I have a question to GRC. I have a question to you and or somebody in the chat. So this one-day stake is going to end pretty soon, right? And so I'm in the ICOSA front end here. And I'm looking at my HSI, right? Now, when I look at this HSI, it says tokenize, emergency end stake, and then above it, it says mint all and create stake. So if I wanted to mint all the Hedron without taking in advance on this, it's just the mint all. Can somebody please just confirm this for me? This is my first time
You
utilizing
just press mint. So basically, at any time you can mint your Hedron, and at 8 p.m. it will continue to ratchet up if that stake is still active. So when I got into Hedron in the beginning, all I had to do was claim all my backed stakes. So I had a big bunch of Hedron, and then they just kept ticking off over to the right. So it's just a mint. Basically, you're just minting it off into your MetaMask whenever you click that, and it'll just start again fresh. But if it's over, it's over. So you got to take it. And if you don't end it, you don't get any of it.
Okay, so nothing happens when I do
Some big
that.
holders missed out on that because they took stakes out and they never clicked the buttons.
Okay, so it doesn't look like it works on a one-day stake, or maybe it only works until after 8 p.m.
Yes, 8 p.m. would be when it clicks over.
Okay, because I probably did this maybe after 8 p.m. yesterday. So
Well, it depends, because if you did it after 8 p.m., then it has to wait for the first click over to even count as a day. So
okay, so
in the future, if you're doing that with like a very large amount of money, you want to do it closer to 8 p.m. So then it clicks over, then you can have that 24 hours and then claim it at the next click over, rather than waiting all that premium of time.
Gotcha. And then after 8 p.m., before end staking this, I need to claim, I need to mint the Hedron, and then go through and actually end the stake. Cool. Dope. That's awesome. Thank you for the reminder on that, bro. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, guys. I've been doing this every day since all these products came out, except Hex. But other than Hex, like Dave 500 in Hex, and then just watched everything every single day since. So like, I have a lot of the community insight. I have a lot of these things. I watched it go from 2 pennies to 56. I watched everyone tell everyone to buy it. I watched everything. Okay. So when I'm telling you all these details, I'm not throwing people under the bus. Yeah, maybe someone who gets crazy out of line, but really I'm just trying to teach you what I'm learning so you can escape having a horrible life like I thought I was going to have my entire life. And now that's not really an issue anymore as much. So I just want to teach the young guys that are fighting. This isn't about the old guys with the money that are going to be crying about everything that's not going their way. This is about the young guys. I have my moral code in line, and everyone else needs to start ruffling feathers about stuff that they ain't ever really looked at.
Yes. I'm going to just touch on one of that comment. Killgrave. Did our WhatsApp NFTs get forked as well? Yes. And put this into context, guys. Put this into context. We literally just got free tokens that have a value above zero. All your stakes, all your NFTs, everything got copied over. Now, not everything is going to have as much value, right? We understand that Hex is just a tool that is utilized. It's just code. Nobody's changing that shit. It doesn't need to look at an oracle for any pieces of data to pull in here. That's it. It's super simple, right? It just is. It's deployed on this network. It's going to work on this network. Deployed over here. We just got free copies of everything. Say Pulse launches in the next 12 months. You're going to get another free copy of everything. Everything. Including your WhatsApp, including your Hedron, including your ICOSA, including your Maxi, including your Deci, including your Base, including your Trio, including your Lucky, including your Hex. Should we go on? Like, you're going to get copies of all this shit again.
Like, there's a lot of questions that have to be answered there. It's like we know those questions.
Yeah. So, guys, did this just spark. Well, this could spark the entire bull run, dude. This is probably what's going to spark the entire fucking bull run. I just realized that.
No, they don't support the fork.
Dude, this is enough to get everything going again because everyone's going to start FOMOing. It's all emotional, as we know. It's all emotional. Now these LP pools between these shit coins are getting heated up. And everything's moving active. If you look at the markets right now, Bitcoin back up to 20K. We got everything's in green right now. And I'm not saying this is the moment that it's going to go up. It could be completely false. But catalysts like this, generally, it's never, everyone wants to look at the line and say, oh, this is what's happening. But it always is a story. It's always a story. What was the story? ETH 2.0 came out on that day. Hedron's up 24.54% on the daily for the exact reasons me and Sam said. And that's on old ETH. Okay? So listen, these low liquidity assets, they move so fast and they're so illiquid that these are the ones that'll move the fastest when there's a proof of work update. And you can earn yield on all of it at the exact same time, making its use case and product market fit actually plausible.
520%, guys, in the last 24 hours, hex on POW. 500, a 5x, right, on proof of work. This is pretty crazy. Hedron, let me see if I can pull up Hedron here. Here we go. Hedron in the last, this is why I like Hedron. Well, I like Hedron for a lot of reasons, but I think it's undervalued, relatively speaking. Hedron, a 658% in the last 24 hours. This is craziness that's happening right now. And I'm not trying to be hyperbolize anything to get you guys to do anything. I'm sharing what I'm doing and sharing what I'm excited about and how all this is working. This is incredible time to be alive, incredible time to be in crypto, just the beginning. I love crypto Hex Squid as well. Hex Bear, Kairos will not allow me to trade Hex for Hedron. It will only allow me to put Ethw into coins. I did it earlier. So I did it earlier multiple times. So I'm not sure what you mean by that because it definitely worked for me. Majority of ERC 20 players aren't even on the need network, the new network. Yes, I completely agree. This is why this is crazy, guys. I think Hedron is ridiculously undervalued. It's already ridiculously undervalued.
I don't understand what undervalue means, Sam. So when you say it, I know what you mean. But 99% of the audience can't understand that concept because it's math and nobody looks at it. Nobody looks at the math. Nobody looks at the T-share rate divided by the users in the system and then looks at all the whale activity, the activity over the months, sees if the founder's a good founder, sees if the community's building over time. And we make these decisions and people act shocked. And it's like, oh, wait, Richard told you to do that, brother. I'm just a good student. I decide to listen to people. People don't think I listen because I scream at a lot of people. I only listen to giants. I only listen to guys I respect. That's why when I start trapping my lips at you, that means I don't respect you. That's really all it is, because I'm not going to listen to whatever nuanced point you want to bring up about something that ain't true. Like I've heard that we call that a word salad where I'm from. Like when you start salading those words up, I'm out. I'm never asking you for advice again because I know you would. Why didn't you just say I don't know?
Yes. If I don't have the answer, don't lie. Just say you don't know. There's nothing wrong with not knowing.
If Bullish called me yesterday morning and said, dude, how do I buy Ethw? I'd have been like, dude, I don't fucking know. Seriously, Bullish helped me. Someone helped him probably, and he did some research. I called Jesse. I called all the guys. I tried to figure out what's going on. I executed. I put my computer away. Period. And then I streamed about it and educated everyone while will continue to get slandered. And I'm not worried about the slander. I'm just more about the it's interesting to learn like how all this social stuff works. I don't, guys, come on. I've learned from the best. Slander does not get to me like your average freaking orange-haired liberal. Okay? I don't care. If my mom and family has something really bad to say to me, yeah, I'll listen. Okay? If someone else has, Sam or my girl or Bullish or someone I respect has something to say to me, yeah, I'll listen. If RH wants to do a stream, yeah, I'll listen. But I'm not going to sit here and listen to guys that say I have a certain amount of USD value and that's why you should listen to me. That's not education. That's not how it works at Harvard, is it? Do the guys that make the most money and that have the most money become professors? I don't really think so.
That's accurate.
I would really assume they're probably wrecked and they love what they do. So
I'm sorry. That's why the school system is broken. That's why, because it's not the people who have the money who are teaching things.
No, because they teach you to cut your winker off.
Yes. No, that.
Literally, they're like, dude, if you do this, it's all good. The kids are like,
so here's a question from AJ that I want to propose here because I think some people might be going through this. Thanks, AJ. Hex or Hedron. So GRC, if you're like, hey, I have I have $150, a trivial amount of money that is not going to impact my life in one way or the other. But if I lose it, right? But the $150 could have, 100x on there. And then that 150 goes to $15,000, right? And it could be in the next 3 months because I want to talk about how quickly this things are happening. But $150, where are you going to stick it?
Personally, for me, right this minute, Jesus Christ. If it was yesterday, I'd tell you a different story. And then last night, I'd tell you another different story. And then today, I'll tell you another different story. To be honest, right now, I want to pad my hex position so I can brutally terrorize people because I want them to remember this. And it's not about money. It's never about money. I want to help people and educate. This is about intellectual integrity to me, which has been undercut in this goddamn world for too long since I was a kid. I always tell Sam, I can't go around find anyone that's what I want to talk to because no one gives a shit. It's like no one cares. No one cares about their gains at the gym. They're just there and they're skinny fat. You know what I mean? So it's like, but anyway, I would
So you would go.
I would buy Ethw if you could get yourself. To be honest, Ethw's holding price low. It's hard. I know this is so weird, but like Hex.
Not saying anybody else should do what you're doing, but just
like Ethw has room to go up a lot, right? We've seen what ETH's willing to do, but it's also $6 price point, $8 price point, which I don't like personally. I like buying coins with little mini price points right now. You know why? Because you can supply trick people a little more. Nobody knows what the Hedron supply is in this chat, but 5 or 6 people. We do. So we know when we're buying 15 billion Hedron for freaking nothing, that's lit because immutable smart contracts. So right now, honestly, if there's liquidity, I'd probably buy Hedron.
Okay. That I would also.
Yesterday morning Hex though, for sure.
And everybody's in a completely different spot. I would also probably buy Hedron. I think the opportunity there with
even on the chain, if you bought something, that's not the worst thing to buy. That's a really good idea because it's new. The reason these things are pumping is because they're new.
And there's copies of all of the HSIs. So there's over 5,500 HSIs that have been sold to Icosa. All of those are going to come up for auction on Hedron.pro, right? They're all going to come up for auction. You need Hedron to buy those, right? And it's already undervalued on proof of stake. And then when you look at proof of work, it's even more undervalued. So I would put that money into Hedron on proof of work personally. White Dude, what's good? That is, I shared the link here. It's called Dex Screener. And then you got to select the in the top right hand corner. It says Ethereum proof of work, and you'll be able to see what you can pick, whatever pair you'd like to go through and actually take a look at. Let's see any other questions here.
Yeah. So, and guys, the things that don't survive on these chains just won't survive. Like, it's just like nobody will buy them. They'll just go null. And the only reason that, and they might not go completely null, but the only reason that happens is because some coins don't have product market fit. So some people don't give a shit when they're on another chain because it's all hype. It's all marketing. It's all bullshit. It's all fluff. But we're earning yield in Hex. And that simple fact alone makes it a very valuable situation. Immutable code makes it a very valuable situation. And Richard Hart makes it a very valuable situation. And the community is probably the most active smart community in crypto. And those ranks ain't mean much. Because everyone in crypto doesn't know what the fuck is going on yet. I picked up some Uni. Seems like necessary DEX on PoW. Yeah, but Uni's just a duct tape token. So you want to be potentially aware that the reason Uni has any value whatsoever is because of the hype it was created around when it launched. And it has nothing to do with any practical application whatsoever. So that's a little bit riskier of a one, in my opinion. But again, you know how these things go. They go up in price.
Correct. It's not like earning fees like PulseX will. It's not going to earn the fees or have like the burn and buy. Well, PulseX is not going to earn fees either. I'm sorry. It's not going to have it doesn't have a buy and burn or anything like that. And nothing terribly fantastic about it, in my opinion, as well. But I don't have a really, really great understanding of it. I would take that and I'd put it into something like Hex.
All these gains that people get. Remember we talk about sloshing, Sam?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing's happening back onto the original Ethereum network right now. And that's where this USD is coming from. These guys are geniuses. They know how these markets work easily. So they really, 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 really understand that this benefits the other chain as well. Because when you slosh money, when you do 100x, you take 10 of those X's, you put them back into the asset you're more comfortable with. And people that are more rich will do that because it makes them feel more comfortable. And maybe it is more comfortable. Maybe it is the truth. But at the end of the day, if you real Ethereum, I'm going to be surprised to see where real Ethereum, the regular Ethereum, and ends up price wise, because this is interesting.
The 1400 or the
1400.
Ethw?
1400.
Yeah, it's right. Maybe this is where we see the drop down to below 1,000 for a short period of time.
I sold all my ETH for USDC before the fork because I said I don't like downside volatility risk. And I didn't have enough to have enough punching power on the other side. So I said, why don't I sell it for USDC and then buy their coin and then swap it for my favorite assets? That's what I did.
Yes. And this is probably about a good time. I don't know if you're going to continue going, but I'm going to jump.
I'm going to take a 30-minute break, guys. 30-minute break. I'm going to run around, get some sun, do some pull-ups, stuff like that. And then I'm coming back hot. And who do you want me to have on if I have someone on? But I'm going to be watching Richard Hart videos and going to the timestamps in his most popular ones where he speaks of the future of layer ones, where he teaches you why you should have been paying attention closely. Whether or not it goes up or down, paying attention closely is paying attention closely. Like 1 million WBTC, or I'm not selling Marco. Are they doing? Oh,
they're talking about BTC, wrap BTC on
BTC on the Pulse chain is going to be a dime.
Bullish grabbed one for $3. Oh, by the way, you can. I think I mentioned this earlier. You can provide liquidity. So if you are like, hey, these fuckers keep talking about providing liquidity, but I don't feel comfortable doing that with my money, you can go use the free money. You can go take your free money and provide liquidity on Uniswap, the front end that Alex put together. I have 3 different positions open, and just in several hours here, I've earned 35, and not including any hacks or anything, but 35 million Hedron in a couple hours. Not that 35 million is a tremendous sum at this moment in time, but in the future, that's going to be a lot more. And it's only been 5 hours or 2 hours.
Dude, I think this might be my first like $100,000 24-hour swing. Like, for fuck's sake, with $500 too is all I spent. It's like, my God,
crazy shit what's happening right now.
And it's not, guys, I'm not pulling out. I'm not This
So
thing
she
could
said.
all go to zero. I don't give a shit. But I understand why people become whales and stuff. It's because they're willing to sit through risk-averse situations and not give a shit. You know why? Because they're not scared. I'm not scared to have no money. I don't give a shit. I could make it back any day, any moment, any month if I really had to. Come on. Really had to. We don't have to do shit. I'm doing, you know what I mean? Really.
We're sitting here on the internet talking to each other about fucking cryptocurrency, which is like made up in people's minds, right?
It is made up, but it's real. It's just tech. It's just tech. Unit of accounting works better than the old system. Adopt. Get in early with small USDC buys when there's no liquidity in these assets. This is going to be happening more and more and more. And if you're watching this show, you're going to be laughing at everyone. This is the biggest, potentially one of the biggest moments in the history of cryptocurrency. It really, 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 really is.
It is. It is. Like how long has this been leading up to? How long have we had this preview running? 6 years. 6 years talking about proof of stake. 6 years lead up to this. It's like, talk about blue balls for dudes who are watching, because it's probably mostly dudes. This is so guys will understand this. Think about this, right? Girls teasing you or whatever the case is, but not just for like 2 hours or 45 minutes. Think about this for days and days and weeks and months and years. And this teasing just goes on and on. Talk about some fucking blue balls. Like, right? This is going to be crazy.
That's how they say it. Like, it's the FOMO thing. Like, it's the FOMO thing, dude. Like, this is the market. This is FOMO. This is real life. Like, this is emotion. They show you those market cycle bubbles because that's how it works. And it's how it's always worked. And some people just have too much bias and they will never get out of their own way with it. I'm telling you, it's crazy. They just won't get out of their own way. Guys, I'm going to be streaming. I know I'm not supposed to be working too much because of emotional volatility, but we're going to take that risk because I'm obsessed with this shit and I want to see what Richard Hart has to say about it. And I want to be the first guy on the internet to do that on this matter. So yeah, let's go, guys. Follow us, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Me, Sam, and the Crypto in the Morning channel, guys. We're live on Apple, Spotify, everything. Okay, so just hit that button down below, hit the bell. Every day we're live, guys. We made this our full-time job to help you be here. So, and I'll be on a little bit later covering some stuff, guys. So just everyone. So there is some sort of Twitter space that people are, and I might shill it right here so people can see it. I got my screen up.
Jazz, you can also go to my Twitter, and I made a guide to actually go through and do this, how the steps that I just followed. So you can go to my Twitter, scroll through. There's like a screenshot with an arrow on it, and it says, yes, you can stake in the photo. There's a link there for a Google document where I just walk you through the steps that I did with some screenshots and stuff. Those are the steps that I took to get into Ethw and then swap into Hex, or you can follow those steps in reverse to get out of it. And then you want to show this group here?
Yeah. So guys, this is a Twitter space going on right now. A couple guys in there. Everyone have an amazing day. Follow us on everything. Hit the like, hit the super like, hit the Twitter icon. I'm getting 10,000 subs soon. Hit me and Sam up on Twitter. We post alpha every single day, guys. So run that space. Yeah, I might go run that space, guys, while I'm going. I'll talk to you. Bye.
Peace. Let's get out of here.
Young folks, you tripping on